Yeah.
So welcome everybody to this special International Girls in ICT Day. So my name is Janet Chapman from Tanzania Development Trust. We've been working very closely with Catherine and others from African child projects around better connectivity, which is a huge issue in particularly rural Tanzania. So this day, which takes place on the 4th Thursday of April every year, aims to encourage young women and girls to pursue careers and studies in STEM, science, technology, engineering and maths, particularly ICT. So it's really fantastic to be joined today by so many wonderful Tanzanian women working in that field. So I'm going to hand first to Sophia, who is the communications lead from ACP, to introduce. Sophia, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Sophia Msuya. I am the Communication Officer, African Child Project, and I'm welcoming you all at our today's session. We decided to prepare this event with the aim of coming up with encouraging young women and girls so as to pursue their studies, careers, dreams in science, engineering, technology, mathematics, and also other fields, so as to help them to achieve their dreams. So I welcome you all at our today's session. Please feel comfortable. We want to learn from each other so as we can keep on encouraging other girls. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And Catherine, I think you were going to say something more about the connectivity project.
Yes, can you see me?
Yes, we can now.
Wow, finally. So welcome all. As for the ladies, I've been with them to the field. They've done a very tremendous job. The reason we organized this session, as Sophia was previously explaining, is just to get the word out there and just hear the experiences that these ladies had on the ground, and even see how they evolved from just mere students from universities to being people on the field, and the activities that they did on the field were very tremendous and impactful. So that's why we saw it fit that they share their stories and maybe just see how we are together sharing and changing the narrative about girls in ICT and how girls in Tanzania are also making impact in the ICT sphere. So just briefly, African Child Project is an NGO that runs projects in rural areas. And recently we've had, I think I'll share a video during the end. We had a project that this is the third phase of the project, just for brand point of interest. It's the third phase of the project, and we've had phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. But in this particular phase, we have had students from universities who have been our technicians on the ground. We've had students from 3 different universities in Tanzania. And apart among these students, we had I think approximately 10 ladies who volunteered to come and be part of the technical team. So we had 30 students in total, but in the 30 students, only 10 were female students who are pursuing telecommunications and some computer science. So in order for us to amplify these stories and just hear from them about their experience on the ground, what were the aha moments for them, I think also integration on what they are learning from class and how are they carrying that forward to the field is the reason again that we organized this webinar. So welcome all. I think today I'm not the speaker. I just want to hear and maybe chit chat with them, maybe even share some aha moments on what they got on the ground. So over to you, Janet. Looking forward to a very interesting session.
Thank you, Catherine. So Catherine has put together, we put together some short questions that we're going to ask different people. Catherine's connectivity is not so brilliant, so she's asked me to ask them on her behalf, really. So I'm going to start with Dorothy. Dorothy, how could you describe yourself in a few words, maybe 3 words?
I am ambitious, cautious, and a well-spoken person, I can say.
Very good, very interesting. Okay, Jacqueline, same question. You're muted. Okay, if Jacqueline can't answer, maybe Jahelina can? Who's dropped off? Okay. Jacqueline, do you want to try and unmute? Okay, don't know what's happened. Oh, yeah, go on. Jacqueline, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, 3 words.
Okay. I am eager to learn and ready to face any problem that appears in the field. And also I am ambitious.
Fantastic. So Dorothy, maybe you can say a little bit about your experiences getting into science and technology at school level. Was there anything that made you want to get interested in STEM? Dorothy?
Yes, am I supposed to unmute the video?
Yes, please do. Maybe you and Jacqueline can unmute yourself and keep your videos on. That would be great.
Okay. So getting into the technology school and science, ICT related subjects, actually it's a great experience. And one of the things that made me want, I had a lot of choices back then. I have ever thought of being a doctor, being a lawyer, but since growing up, I wanted to become an electrical engineer. Yeah, and yes, so and when I was in my A level, I said that I want to take electrical engineer, then in my master's I would come to do telecommunications, because it was the sector by then where in our country it was now growing so fast. So it was just in me that I loved engineering. Until today. So coming to the university in my applications, when I got selected because it's what I wanted to learn after electrical engineering. So it was just in me, that thing in me. And actually in my family, in my relatives, there are no more, not many engineers. There are not many engineers, so literally I'm like the first. So yeah, it was just in IT and science in general. Yeah,
fantastic. So that's quite an unusual career ambition, perhaps, in the UK anyway, and probably in Tanzania. Whereabouts in the country did you grow up, and how did you first get interested in science and technology, Dorothy?
Okay, I have lived in Dar es Salaam throughout my life, and for the first time, I actually how did I get interested in science? Primary, yeah, I think primary when I was in standard 6, that's when I came to realize that, oh, science is just interesting. Yeah, when we started to learn about electricity, Ohm's law, the basics of electricity and all that, that's when I came to realize that science is big. It's not all about mammals, bones, and what, but there's more into it. So yeah, I can say from my primary level.
Fantastic. It sounds like you had some great primary school teachers and that you had the benefit of actually learning science. I know that a lot of the schools that we work with in rural areas don't have science teachers, so they are quite a disadvantage there. Thank you. So Jacqueline, can you say something about your schooling, how you got interested in science and technology, where you grew up?
Okay. As for me, at first I was not interested in science because I used to hate math a lot. So through my teacher, who has now passed away, he inspired me into math, and also he was a teacher of physics. So most of the time he used to give me questions, do this, do this, do this, and I used to do the questions. So when I reached Form 6, I encountered a topic about fiber. So from there, I was really interested in knowing how this optical fiber, how it works. So during my university selection, of course, I selected telecommunication, petroleum engineering, and also business. And luckily, I was chosen telecommunication industry. So it was a great opportunity for me. And also, during my 4th year, I was also able to participate in ACP project, whereby I was a technician. So through the project, I was able to get more exposed into how the telecommunication industry works. So I was able to know what is the bit test and how does it look, and it was really a great opportunity for me.
Fantastic. So did you also go to school in 𝗂𝗏 or somewhere else?
For my primary, I attended Kilimanjaro, a school known as Moshi Airport. Then secondary, it was 𝗂𝗏, it's also in Kilimanjaro. And for A-level, I attended Marian Girls, Bagamoyo.
Fantastic. Yeah, and the university?
UDSM, University of Dar es Salaam.
Brilliant, thank you. Okay, I'm going to see if Doris, are you able to hear us? Can you unmute and introduce yourself? Or Jarlina? Oh, Jarlina has no audio. Okay. Okay, well, let's, I know you're very early in your careers, Dorothy and Jacqueline. What's been the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome so far? Jacqueline, do you want to go first? It doesn't have to be related to technology. Any challenge that you'd like to talk about. I don't know, have you had any issues with attitudes of male students or teachers about your abilities, or has that not been a problem? Can you think of anything that you'd like to share, Jacqueline? Or Dorothy?
Okay. Yes, I have faced some challenges. First, I can say girls being few in my class, that's also a challenge. But also the thing of people not believing in you. Like you believe you can do something, but people like disregard you or just look down on you, see that you cannot do the activities. For instance, when I did my practical training last year, my third practical training, actually I faced someone who had, I can say, a bad attitude, or his personality was not that much of a welcoming personality, and a person who knows that this person does not know this thing, so let me teach her or guide her. So it was really hard because it was a new place. You have to go, you're there for you are there to learn, but you find someone like he believes that you know everything, but in your mind you know that yes you know, but there are things that you are there to learn. So sometimes I was even asking for help, but he's just like leaving you just unguided. So that thing, and also attitudes, I can say attitudes, and mostly the state of people not believing in you that you can do something in its effective way. That's the biggest challenge, I can say.
Thank you. That does sound very challenging. How did you overcome those challenges or try to overcome them?
Most of the times I try to show them that I can do it. You say I can't, I'll show you that I can. So that's me. That's how I try to overcome the challenges. And I can say I'm at a point that people are starting to believe in me, and I can say for now I'm at a good point.
Fantastic. Jacqueline, would you like to add anything? Any challenges you've had? Have you had similar challenges or different ones?
I had similar challenges, but as for me, it was for my practical training. They were training on programming in Python. Of course, the teacher was not believing in girls almost. So most of the time we meet and we are given work, but the way the teacher is representing, the way he is showing the attitude to you, and you know that he's not inspired by you. So most of the time the work he gave mostly was for boys, and so it was really difficult for us to learn Python easily. So most of the time we used to go in Google, we Google this. Yes, the next morning when the practical trainer wants the work, sometimes he's moody and he knows that the work you are given, yes, it was a bit difficult, but you have tried, but as for him, he does not appreciate. Yeah, that was the challenge.
Terrible. So you found many of your teachers were not very encouraging.
Yes.
And is there anything that you can do about that?
Actually, as for us girls there, we were there. We actually told him whatever we had in our hearts. So he changed later.
Oh, that is very good news. Okay, thank you. So I think Natasha, 𝗁𝗂, and 𝗁𝗂 have joined. So can you three unmute yourself as well? Natasha, please introduce yourself.
My name's Natasha 𝗏𝗏. I study at the Western Institute of Technology. I'm taking electronics and telecommunication engineering. I was also one among the field officers in the school. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Natasha, do you want to say something about how you got interested in science and technology in the first place?
Okay, personally, how I got interested in ICT or technology at large is how the modern world is moving so fast. So, like first, I started asking myself questions like, why should I get involved with the moving technological world and be a part of the society or be part of people that can change it and take it to a better place? Because most of the advanced digitalized stuff like technology are mostly aiming at making the world a better place, simplifying things specifically and making life easier. So that's the thing that basically made me get more interested in studying ICT or technology and stuff like that.
Great. And where did you grow up? Which area of the country?
Oh, I was born in a place called 𝗂𝗧, and
𝗂𝗧?
Yes, I took my primary school training. From there, I moved to a place called 𝗬𝗓𝗓, where I had my secondary and high-level training. And here I am now, and the rest I'm taking my bachelor degree.
Fantastic. And have you had some of the challenges that Dorothy and Jacqueline mentioned about poor attitudes from particularly male tutors?
Yes, most of the times, seeing a girl or being a girl is already a challenge because most of people have that idea that you cannot do some stuff. For example, taking electronics. Electronics and telecommunication. There are places that I have to climb up the there are places that I have to do something that is physical, that is kind of energy. So being a girl, somebody can just say, how can this person do it? This is meant for men and stuff like that.
And how have you overcome those challenges?
Okay, personally, the first thing that I've done to overcome those challenges is to show them that I can do it. Because through showing a person, that person won't have energy to judge you again, because you've already proved them wrong that you can do something that you can do.
Thank you. So I think 𝗁𝗂 and 𝗁𝗂, can you unmute yourselves? 𝗁𝗂 has no audio, I think. And 𝗁𝗂? Okay, don't know. Okay, so maybe we could go on to talk about how you got involved in the school connectivity program and what has been how that's added value to your career path. whoever would like to go first. Maybe Dorothy. Dorothy?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, Dorothy, go ahead.
I'm 𝗂𝗄𝗃 𝗚𝗂 from Arusha Technical College, studying bachelor degree in information technology.
Fantastic. Great. So, Jalina, please tell us 3 words that describe you.
Okay. Pardon?
What, if you had to describe yourself in 3 words, what would you use?
Okay. Pardon?
Never mind. How did you get interested in science and ICT?
I have got interested to learn ICT due to the advancement that nowadays is enhanced with ICT knowledge and skills. That's why I have decided to study ICT.
Fantastic. And which area of the country did you grow up in?
Okay, I was born in 1988 at the Singida region found in central of Tanzania. Studied a primary school at Malaja Primary School, then joined a secondary school at Nangwa Girls High School. Studied at Dodoma Secondary School, then thereafter joined a diploma college, Teachers College at Dakawa Teachers College. There at 2021 joined the bachelor degree in information technology.
Fantastic, thank you. So, Jalina, can you explain how you got involved with the school connectivity project?
The school connectivity project was an inspiring project that allowed me to participate in practices work. We learned a lot of things. We are able to connect secondary schools with the internet that help them for teaching and learning materials that they can help them in also raising their academic performance.
Fantastic, thank you. So, Dorothy, over to you. Can you tell us about how you got involved with school connectivity and how it's benefited your future career?
Okay. School connectivity was introduced to me by my friend Albert, who is the lead in the technical team. So yes, as I said earlier, in the point of me trying to prove myself to people that I can do it, then the opportunity came to me and I was so grateful to be a part of the team. The experience was great and it really helped me to see how the field work goes, because we just get to learn in class, like the configurations, connections, and all the things about connecting, the antenna, those things. So this time around, the experience of going into the field work myself, to do the connections, to ensure that I live there, everything is done. It was a great experience, and I believe it has actually added to me something, that an advantage. Even if I go to work today in these telecommunication companies, I won't be fully new to the field works. Yeah, and also I've got to improve my public speaking skills, and because the experience of standing in front of teachers and students, explaining to them things about, doing the trainings, it was a great experience to me, and I can say I have learned a lot from them, and I believe they were able to take whatever I had, the knowledge that I had. I believe that they took it fully. Yeah, so to me, it was a great experience and a great opportunity to my career and as an individual.
Thank you. So where did you travel to connect schools?
Okay. I was assigned at Dodoma region. Yeah, there I was.
Great. And what was your, go on, yeah.
You can ask.
What was your biggest aha moment during your field activities? Anything? What was your biggest aha moment? What was the biggest surprise to you? Or the biggest thing you learned during the field activities?
Okay. First thing first is to work in calmness. Like, sometimes you might be in the field and you maybe at night you have tested your devices, they were working very well, but going into the field, nothing is working and you can start panicking. Yeah, but one thing that I have learned is to work in calmness. Like, whatever happens, you have to calm down and just try to figure out what might be the problem. Yeah, so another thing also, problem solving skills. I didn't expect that I could be very fast in solving problems whenever they arise. Yeah, that was.
It sounds very challenging, as usual.
Yeah.
And usually something unexpected happens in the field. I know from my experience. So well done. Jacqueline.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, would you like to say how you got involved in the connectivity project and your experiences?
I got connected to school connectivity through my friend Albert, who is the lead in technical team. And I was assigned a region I was assigned the Dodoma region. Yeah, and it was really a great opportunity. I was able to put into practice what I learned in class. We learned networking, but I did not know how the configurations, how we connect those devices. I did not know for real. So through the school connectivity, I got more exposure and experience about it.
And any surprising moments or challenges during the field work?
The challenge what I got was network problem. The schools where I went, of course, the network was so slow. So I learned to be patient. And also I got some skills like problem solving. And apart from that, I got also skills on public speaking because I wasn't good in it.
Fantastic. Natasha, do you want to add anything?
Sure. Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, what I would like to add is the other challenge that I got in the field is digital literacy. Because in some of the schools, you might find that some teachers are very, they're not so new, but they just don't know how to operate some devices and how to acquire some materials maybe online. So it was kind of difficult at first or in the beginning, but as we went on, everything was sorted out and we learned on how to teach somebody that is a bit elder than you in a good way, and everything went on well.
Fantastic. And what area were you involved in?
The area I went in Singida region. Yes.
Singida.
Yes.
Fantastic. And any particular surprises during your field work?
Okay, I can say maybe there is one of the schools that I went, and the children were extra excited, and I never expected that. It was kind of a surprise to me. Yes.
Fantastic. And I'm sure you were a wonderful role model, particularly to the girls there.
Yeah, I remember one of the teachers told the other girls that they should learn from me.
Absolutely. And do you think they were surprised to see a female technician connecting the school?
Yes, I remember the other school, it's called Manyoni. I went. They thought maybe I had come on behalf of somebody. So they were like, are we waiting for the one to come, or maybe is there anything that you're sent to tell us? So they never thought that I'm the one who's coming to perform installation and train.
Fantastic. I know Manyoni School very well. I was there in January.
Oh, that's great.
Great. Jalina, do you want to add anything?
Okay. Got some experience when connecting schools with the internet. Some teachers were not aware with platforms that can be used in searching materials, such as 𝗕𝗏, 𝗪𝗏, and others. But we had time with them and explained to them how they could get such material. And the challenging issue was the network of the area, since I visited Rombo in Kilimanjaro, which is the nearby Kenya. So the network was the great problem, but thanks God, we did it. It was able to meet with a lot of people. Students were very excited to know what is going on. We were about almost 5 girls from 𝗕𝗏 that were working with school connectivity. They were surprised to see girls can connect or can be able to install the network devices such as antennas and allowing them to work searching materials from internet.
Fantastic.
So for us, yes.
Brilliant. So what are you all hoping to do later on in your careers? Do you have any particular ambitions on how you're going to use these new skills that you have? Dorothy, do you want to start?
Okay, as for me, I really want to become a great engineer. Yes, so I will leave to that. even, and I won't limit myself to other opportunities when they come, but that's one thing that I really want. And this opportunity like showed me that I can do it, and yeah, and there are people out there who they will look up to you. Yeah, because as Natasha said, you might go to a school and was it Natasha or Jailina? You go there, you as the engineer, and they're like, oh, are we waiting for somebody else? So, and you stand and say, it's me. So yeah, that's one thing that in my career, I really want to become a great engineer. Yes, and yeah, I can say that.
Fantastic. Jacqueline, your ambitions? Jacqueline? Okay, Natasha, what are you hoping to do?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Personally, after obtaining this knowledge or experience, I had an idea. There is one of the villages called 𝗁𝗏𝗃.
Mm-hmm.
That place, on my research, I found that majority don't have ICT knowledge, even the basics. Even a center, maybe somebody can just learn computer skills, maybe like Microsoft Word. There are no places like that. So I thought of doing something because it's my local village where my mother was born. So according to the knowledge that I've got, I would like to do something in my village so that I can at least give back to my community.
Fantastic. So sorry, where is that village? 𝗁𝗏𝗃 in Kagera?
Yes, it is in Kagera.
Oh, okay, that's a fantastic idea. Jalina, what are your ambitions?
Okay. My ambition since I'm a teacher, I'll go back to my school since charity begins at home. I will help them to my students to acquire the knowledge that I have and skills that they can use it to help their surroundings and the community at large. That will be my first ambition.
That is fantastic. And I wish you all the best with your ambitions. So we're almost coming to the end. I've got one more question, but if people, and then we're going to show a video, but if people have any questions that they would like to ask, please put them in the chat or raise your hand and I'll unmute you in a moment. Also, I think there are some other women involved in the project that haven't managed to unmute. And if you wanted to do that, then please do so. But the final question for you three is, what was the best piece of advice you received, particularly when you were maybe younger? What advice would you give to young girls studying in schools now to get them involved in ICT? Dorothy, do you want to start?
Okay. What I would like to tell young girls, you know, ICT is like everywhere nowadays. You might be studying business, but there is ICT involved. You might be studying law, you might be studying what. So they should not be afraid of going to ICT. It's not must everyone to learn about programming or those great skills.
Okay, thank you. I think we've lost you. Natasha? Best piece of advice, your advice? Yep.
First, the best piece of advice that I could give to younger girls like I was.
They should believe that they can do it.
Thank you. Sorry, Natasha.
Okay. The best piece of advice that I would give is first growing a desire on something that you would love to become in some future days. First, you have to find yourself. And after getting yourself, you do something that is out of passion and love. And doing something out of passion and love will lead to the best achievement of whatever you do. So I'll advise them to first grow a desire, to first find themselves of what they would love. But basically, I can speak of ICT as something that is necessary and a must to know, because in whatever you do, you have to connect, you have to reach people. So reaching people is not a miracle. You have to first study ICT, because there are platforms that will get you involved and shout your ideas to the outside world. And there are platforms that will make you understand and know the modern world and the official world, where it's becoming, where it has been, and where it's going, and how you can take part to change it according to the person that you've found yourself to be.
Thank you. And Jalina, any advice received or advice to give? Jalina? Yep.
My advice to young girls is that they have to wake up at their dreams. Since in any dream there are many challenges. They have to come up with those challenges to find the solutions of the challenges they had.
Thank you.
Any
Yes, go ahead.
challenge will be solved.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So I think Brian wanted to say something. Please go ahead, Brian.
Well, thank you for inviting me and allowing me to hear the work you've been doing. 𝗁𝗂𝗫𝗀𝗀 na Singita Sukuma kama Mongaluka Bamayu Kakayamola. I appreciate all the challenges that you have to go through in order to get to this point. You should all be very proud of what you have accomplished getting here. And I just wanted to say to you, keep up the good work, keep up the hard work. There are people around the world that recognize what you're doing and are very proud of you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Brian. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So Catherine, I don't know if you want to say any more about anything about the future plans of ACP before we show the video.
Yeah, I think as you finish just with the video, then I can just give 1 minute.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to share my screen now, and hopefully you can see this and hear the video. Oh, I can't hear anything. There's just, oops.
Ambazo wenzetu walishazifanya na kama mimi form 2 hivi naweza kupata mitihani ambayo wenzangu walishaifanya awali na nitaweza kuisolve, na baada ya kuisolve nitaweza kupata material mbalimbali ambayo atanisaidia mimi kujibu mtihani ujao.
I would like to thank all sponsors, to start with Vodacom Foundation Tanzania, 𝗬𝗓, Basic Internet, African African Child Project, University of 𝗳𝗏𝗏 Institute of Technology, DIT, and 𝗳𝗏𝗏 Technical College, ATC, for bringing this project into life and to see the impact that this project will bring to the students, especially to those at the secondary level.
Katika mradi huu ambao umeletwa hapa shuleni kwetu, unatusaidia sisi wanafunzi kuweza kupata past papers ambazo wenzetu walishazifanya. Na kama mimi form 2 hivi, naweza kupata mitihani ambayo wenzangu walishaifanya awali na nitaweza kuisolve, na baada ya kuisolve nitaweza kupata material mbalimbali ambayo atanisaidia mimi kujibu mtihani ujao.
I would like to thank all sponsors.
Okay, Janet.
Vodacom Foundation Tanzania, 𝗬𝗏𝗧, Basic Internet, African Child Project, University of 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗏 Institute of Technology, DIT, and 𝗳𝗏𝗏𝗏 Technical College, ATC, for bringing this project into life and to see the impact that this project will bring to the students, especially to those at the secondary level.
Thank you so much. So from our end, this is a short recap of what took place in the field. You're seeing students involving themselves in different activities. So we're able to reach our milestone and bring students from 3 different universities together to work on a collaborative project to assist other students in lower learning or secondary schools to get just something as basic as internet so as they can access learning materials online. So I think future plans for us is still how we can brand the activities that we did and seeing how we can also give these students who have participated soft skills on how they can be able, at least from what they're learning on their profession in the computer engineering or computer science, how can we also add knowledges like public speaking, also having them interact in these webinars so as they can at least get other experiences outside classroom. But also project-wise, we want to see how the whole of Tanzania can get connected, how all schools and community centers can get connected to internet. That not last, I think also digital skills training play a big role in our projects. As we heard most of the students saying that they saw a huge knowledge gap that still exists in our schools, also in just the normal settings in the streets. There's still a lot of knowledge gap in terms of digital skills. So that's our aim as African Child Project. We want to see how we can bridge the knowledge gap, but also bridge the digital divide gap that still exists. So thank you so much, Janet, for moderating this panel. Thank you so much, the ladies who have joined and given their experiences. We just look forward to engaging with you further and seeing how we can amplify the work that we do together. Thank you.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Catherine. And just to say that I will be putting the recording of this on our YouTube and sharing the recording with everybody who registered and via social media and so on. And we're also having monthly webinars as part of an Inspiring Girls Tanzania program, which launched last month. And our first event was actually interviewing 3 inspiring women, of which Catherine was one. So I would also share the recording of that very interesting event. So thank you very much, everybody. And I'll stop recording.